Akilandakoti Brahmandanayaka Raja Yogi Raja Parabrahma Sri Satcharitra Samartha Sadguru Bhagavan Shirdi Sai Maharaj Ki Jai. Akilandakoti Brahmandanayaka Raja Yogi Raja Parabrahma Sri Satcharitra Samartha Sadguru Bhagavan Jesus Maharaj Ki Jai. Akilandakoti Brahmandanayaka Raja Yogi Raja Parabrahma Sri Satcharitra Samartha Sadguru Bhagavan Sri Sai Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Paramam Bhavitam Bhavaham Vibhutim Paramam Vichitram Mahimam Vibhutim Paramahate Shartamoksha Prayatam Baba Vibhutim Nilamasrehami Sai Baba Vibhutim Satatam Smarahami Shirdi Sai Vibhutim Manasa Smarahami. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya Om Shanti 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 Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavahitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Jai Jai Sai Guru Sai Jai Jai Sai.
Sri Sai Satcharitra, The Wonderful Life and Teachings of Shirdi Sai Baba, a modern rendering. Chapter 5. Baba's return to Shirdi with Chand Patel's wedding party. I shall now describe how Sai Baba returned to Shirdi after a temporary disappearance. In a village called Dup, in the Aurangabad district, there lived a well-to-do Muslim gentleman named Chand Patel. While making a trip to Aurangabad, he lost his mare. For 2 long months, he made a diligent search, but there was no trace of his lost mare. Disappointed, he returned from Aurangabad with a saddle on his back. He came upon a mango tree under which sat what appeared to him to be a very odd fellow. This fellow had a scarf on his head, wore a long robe, and had a satka, a short stick, under his arm, and was preparing to smoke a chillum. On seeing Chand Patel pass by, this fellow called out and asked him to have a smoke and rest a little. The fellow asked him about the saddle. Chand Patel replied that it was for his mare, which was lost some time ago. The unusual fellow asked him to make a search in the gully close by. Chand Patel went, and wonder of wonders, found the mare. He realized that this fakir was not an ordinary man, but a great saint. He returned to the fakir with the mare. The chillum was ready, but 2 things were missing: fight to light the pipe and water to wet the piece of cloth through which the smoke is drawn up. The fakir took his prong and thrust it forcibly into the ground, and out came a live burning coal, which he put in the pipe. Then he dashed his stick on the ground, and water began to ooze from the earth. The cloth was wetted with that water, then wrung out and wrapped around the pipe. Everything was complete. The fakir smoked the chillum and then gave it to Chand Patel. On seeing all this, Chand Patel was wonderstruck. He then invited the fakir to come to his home and accept his hospitality. Next day, the fakir went to Patel's house and stayed there for some time. Patel was a village officer of Dup. His nephew was to be married, and the bride was from Shirdi. So Patel made preparations to start for Shirdi for the marriage. The fakir also accompanied the marriage party. The marriage ceremony went without a hitch. Then the party returned to Dup, except for the fakir, who alone stayed in Shirdi and remained there forever. How Baba receives the name Sai. When the marriage party came to Shirdi, it stopped at the foot of a banyan tree in Malsapati's field near Khandoba's temple. The carts were loosened in the open courtyard of the temple, and the members of the party descended one by one, including the fakir. Malsapati saw the young fakir getting down and hailed him, "Ya Sai, welcome, Holy One." Others also addressed him as Sai, and from that day onwards he became known as Sai Baba, Holy Father. Contact with other saints. Sai Baba began to stay in a deserted masjid. A saint named Devidas had been living in Shirdi many years before Baba came there. Baba liked his company. Sometimes he stayed with him in the Maruti temple or in the Chavadi. Sometimes Baba lived alone. Then another saint named Janki Das came by. Baba spent most of his time talking with him, or Janki Das came to Baba's residence. Also, a householder saint, Gangagir, always frequented Shirdi. When he saw Baba carrying pitchers of water to the garden, he was amazed and said, "Blessed is Shirdi that it got this precious jewel. This man is carrying water today, but he is not an ordinary fellow. As this land of Shirdi was lucky and meritorious, it has secured this jewel." One famous saint by the name Anandnath, a disciple of Akkalkot Maharaj, came to Shirdi with some people from Shirdi. When he saw Sai Baba, he said out loud, "This is a precious diamond in reality. Though he looks like an ordinary man, he is not an ordinary stone, but a diamond. You will realize this in the future." Saying this, he returned to Yola. This was said while Baba was a youngster. Baba grows a garden. In his younger days, Sai Baba grew hair in his head and never had his head shaved. He dressed like an athlete. When he went to Rahata, 3 miles from Shirdi, he brought back with him small plants of marigold, jai, and jew. After cleaning them, he planted and watered the plants. A devotee by the name Vaman Tatya supplied him with 2 earthen pitchers daily. With these, Baba used to water the plants. He drew water from the well and carried the pitchers on his shoulders. In the evening, the pitchers were kept at the foot of the neem tree. As soon as they were placed there, they broke, as they were made of raw earth and not baked. Next day, Tatya supplied 2 fresh pitchers. This went on for 3 years. Through Baba's labor, a flower garden grew. On this site now stands Baba's Samadhi Mandir, which is frequented and used by so many devotees. Padukas under the neem tree. A devotee of Akkalkot Maharaj by the name of Bai worshipped the photo of Akkalkot Maharaj. He thought of going to the town of Akkalkot to take darshan of the padukas of the Maharaj and offer his worship there. But before he left, he had a vision in his dream. Akkalkot Maharaj appeared in the vision and said to him, "Now Shirdi is my resting place. Go there and offer your worship." So Bai changed his plan and came to Shirdi. He stayed for 6 months and worshipped Baba and was happy. In 1912, as a reminder of this vision experience, he prepared padukas and installed them under the neem tree on the auspicious day of Shravan, with due ceremonies and formalities, conducted by Dada Kelkar and Upsani. Complete versions of padukas under the neem tree. Before, the tree was bitter, but Baba's presence made it sweet and transformed it into a kalpa vruksha, a wish-fulfilling tree. Bibi Deo, a great devotee of Sai Baba, made inquiries about the padukas and published a full version of the paduka story. It ran as follows. In 1912, Dr. Ramarao Kotare of Mumbai came to Shirdi for Baba's darshan. The doctor's compounder and his friend, Bhai Ali Bagkar, accompanied him. The compounder and Bhai became intimate with Sagun Naik and G.K. Dixit. They all decided there should be a memorial of Sai Baba coming to Shirdi and sitting under the holy neem tree. They thought of making patakas of some rough stones and installing them under the tree. Then Bai's friends suggested letting Dr. Kotere know, as he would create a nice design for the patakas. As all liked the proposal, Dr. Kotere was informed. Dr. Kotere came to Shirdi and drew the design for the patakas. He went to Upasani Maharaj, who lived at Khandoba's temple, and showed him the plan. Upasani Maharaj made many improvements, drew lotuses, flowers, a conch, a disc, and a mace, and suggested the following sloka regarding the neem tea's greatness and Baba's yogic powers to be inscribed. Translation of this verse. I bow to Lord Sainath, who always stays at the foot of the neem tree and makes it ooze amruta. Before, the tree was bitter, but Baba's presence made it sweet and transformed it into a kalpa vriksha, a wish-fulfilling tree. Upasani's suggestions were accepted and carried out. The patakas were made in Mumbai and sent to Shirdi. Baba said they should be installed on Shravan Purnima, the full moon in August. On that day at 11 a.m., G.K. Dixit brought them on his head from Khandoba's temple to the Dwarkamai in a procession. Baba touched the padukas, saying that these are the feet of the Lord, and asked the people to install them under the neem tree. A day before, a Parsi devotee of Mumbai sent 25 rupees by money order. Baba gave it for the installation of the patakas. The total expense of the installation came to about 100 rupees, out of which 75 rupees was collected through donations. For the first 5 years, G.K. Dixit worshipped the patakas daily, and then this was done by Lakshman Jakadi. In the first 5 years, Dr. Kotere sent 2 rupees per month for lighting and also sent money for the railing around the patakas. The roofing and the expense of bringing the railing from the station to Shirdi was paid by Sagun Naik. Eventually, Jakadi did the worship and Sagun Naik offered the Naivedya and lit the evening lamps. In 1912, Bhai Krishnaji stopped in Shirdi for the installation of the patakas on his way to the village of Akalkat. He was a devotee of Akalkat Maharaj and wanted to go to Akalkat after taking Baba's darshan. He asked Baba's permission for this. Baba said, "Oh, what is there in Akalkat? Why do you go there? The Maharaj of that place is here, myself." Hearing this, Bhai did not go to Akalkat. After the installation of the patakas, he came to Shirdi off and on. Baba wrestles with a devotee named Tamboli. To return to the stories of Baba. There was a wrestler in Shirdi named Tamboli. He and Baba did not agree on certain things and fought in a wrestling match. In this, Baba was defeated. From then onwards, Baba changed his dress and mode of living. He put on a kafni, wore a waistband, and covered his head with a piece of cloth. He took a piece of sackcloth for his seat, a sackcloth for his bed, and was content with wearing torn rags. He always said, "Poverty is better than kingship, far better than lordship. The Lord is always the brother of the poor." Gangagir was also very fond of wrestling. Once when he was wrestling, a feeling of dispassion suddenly came over him. He heard the voice of an adept saying that he should wear out his body playing with God. So he too gave up samsara and turned to God realization. He established a mutt on the banks of the river near the Putambe and lived there with his disciples. Baba lived simply. Sai Baba did not mix with the people. He only gave answers when asked. By day, he sat under the neem tree. Sometimes he sat under the shade of a babul tree near the stream at the outskirts of the village. In the afternoon, he used to walk at random and at times go to Nimagan. There he frequented the house of Bala Sahib. Baba loved Bala Sahib. Bala Sahib's younger brother, Nana Sahib, had no son, though he had married a second wife. Bala Sahib sent Nana Sahib to take darshan of Sai Baba. After some time, through Baba's grace, Nana Sahib had a son. From that time onwards, people began to come in numbers to see Sai Baba, and his fame began to spread. From that time, Nana Sahib, Keshav, Chirambar, and many others began coming to Shirdi. Pranams to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.
You've been listening to a modern rendering of Hamad Pant's The Sri Sai Satcharitra, The Wonderful Life and Teachings of Shirdi Sai Baba, edited and narrated by Monica Penacanda. For more content like this online, please go to divinelineage.org, SaiFamily.org, and peacefires.org. To learn more about Monica, please go to monicapenacanda.org.
Jai Sai, Guru Sai, Jai Sai, Guru Sai, Jai Sai, Guru Sai, Jai Sai. Sai, Guru Sai, Jai Sai, Guru Sai, Jai